大家好，我是伦伦，今天帮大家带来的是魔兽 Dwight Howard 的访谈。这个访谈的上传日期是2022年11月30日，差不多就是魔兽宣布要来台湾打球的时候。不过他并没有提到关于来台的事情，那他有提到的有他在魔术时期跟高层要求开除 Stan Van Gundy 教练，结果在阴错阳差下跟还在职，而且知道魔兽要他走人的 Stan Van Gundy 共同受访了那个 NBA 史上最尴尬的访谈跟之后的魔兽人生。他小时候视为偶像的3位球员，他跟侠客似乎每过一段时间就会重新吵起了牛肉，还有跟 Kobe 还有 LeBron 当队友的不同。话不多说，我们马上开始。
What up, big guy? Oh,
what's up, little man?
How you doing, man? Long overdue, dude. Welcome,
sir.
Come on, man. Welcome, Dwight Howard. To Coldest Balls, everybody. Huh? God. Dwight, first of all, congrats on all the success that you have had throughout your NBA career. Being a guy to skip the world of college basketball, come straight out of high school. What was the NBA conversation, or when did it start?
16, really.
16, really?
17. Before that, I was really short. I was like almost your height.
The does that mean?
I went from 5'7" to 6'11" in a year.
Yeah, well, anybody could do that if they were injecting growth hormones in.
What happened to your growth hormone?
I grew 3.5 inches between the age 10, what am I now, 43? 43. And I still believe that I got one coming. I still believe.
Another growth spurt?
One more. I think I got one more in the can, for sure. You're going to the NBA. This is now real. What's the family's conversation attached to you at that point?
Everybody's like, this is crazy. We can't believe that you're getting all this attention. Like, my school literally only had 300 people in it total, all the way up to 12th grade.
A lot of weird kids. I will say that you really held your own and lived up to the hype in your rookie season. Give me an example of, it's not just the game. There's a high level of business attached to the game. When did you get that?
I would say when I was in Orlando and I asked for a trade. When I asked for a trade, it was like behind closed doors. I didn't say nothing to nobody. I just told the GM. Next thing I know, it was worldwide.
What was the reason at the moment why you wanted out?
I really just felt like I was too comfortable where I was at.
Okay.
I felt like I needed some change for my life, and I felt like people took that the wrong way by saying I want to leave. But man, that's one of my favorite places of all time.
Were there extreme lows for you where you felt your mental was getting tugged on?
The situation with them saying I wanted to leave and wanted to get my coach fired.
Van Gundy was the one that was like, you know, Dwight wants me fired.
That right there, like, it really messed me up.
Okay.
Like, I remember after shoot around, I go up, put my arm around his neck, and I'm like, see, I love Stan. And then next thing you know, Stan's like, oh, gotta go. And then they asked me, they're like, hey, Stan just told us that you wanted him fired. And so I'm like, damn, this crazy.
Yeah.
The whole world is gonna think I'm a coach killer. And so we went and talked to Stan, and he was like, man, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't think it was going to be as big as it was. And I'm like, well, Stan, now everybody think I'm evil because of this. And I had asked to go to Brooklyn. So they traded me to LA, and that's how I got here.
It's a big soap opera.
I'm like, oh, he's really good and it's fair.
What the? Jesus Christ.
Do you like snakes?
No, Dwight, I don't.
I actually have snakes that are way taller than you.
You know what I call that? Sick.
那魔兽在这里提到，我个人认为是他生涯形象的转捩点。2012年的要求被交易，跟据传要求教练被开除。这一株肥皂剧加上之后在湖人不止主队失败，还跟声望很高的 Nash 跟 Kobe 都貌似不合。这几件事情让魔兽之后被冠上草莓的封号，有段时间成为球迷的笑柄。直到生涯末段，他成功改变自己心态，成为少数能从巨星转变成为有贡献的角色球员。在湖人拿下冠军后，才重新得到球迷的尊重。除此之外，魔兽还提到，因为他要求交易而衍生出的魔兽人生对他的精神状态有很大的影响。有段时间他压力非常大，那压力大当然就要找适当的抒压方式。像我最近就在 Cat Time 养了一只名叫姆斯的猫咪。那如果说日常生活中面临创作瓶颈，或是生活压力太大的时候，打开游戏就会跟它进行各种简单的互动。比如说，你可以选择喂它，像这样，或者是帮它梳毛，那也可以帮它洗澡啊、玩游戏、换装等等。那猫咪呢，也会因为自己本身的状态跟着产生对应的互动。比如说饿了，它可能会喵喵叫。 吃饱了他可能会跟你撒娇，然后有时候还会像这样跟你玩躲猫猫之类的。那 Cat Time 会提供每日3小挑战的小游戏，那像这样子挑战越多，难度就会越低。那最好的就是挑战失败了，你还是可以赚金币。那有了金币呢，你就可以像这样帮他买各种小饰品，或者是用来装饰猫咪的家，让它过上更舒适的生活。那有看过我直播的观众都知道我是个严重过敏儿，那有了这款勇士以后，就让我不用过敏，也可以体会到养宠物看它一点点长大的满足感啦。现在就点下资讯栏里的连结，跟我一起享受养毛小孩的快乐吧。2004年以状元之姿加入 NBA 的魔兽，生涯初期形象是非常好的。当时的他就是个大男孩，身上没有什么包袱，球迷也对后 T-Max 时期重建中的魔术没有什么期待。他可以尽情的做自己，跟联盟其他顶尖球员跳跳舞，也不会被认为不够有杀气。2009年 Howard 迎来当时生涯的巅峰，当全世界都在期待联盟2个头号球星 Kobe 跟 LeBron 在冠军赛来个史诗级对决时
Morning, LeBron.
Morning, Kobe.
Friday night, and I feel alright. The party's here on the west side.
跟他的魔术队友们在东区决赛有点意外的以4-2淘汰了 LeBron 的骑士。虽然最后在冠军赛败给了 Kobe 的湖人，但这也让 Howard 正式晋升为联盟顶尖球员之一。原本以为年轻的魔术在 Howard 的带领下将成为联盟新的强权球队，但隔年魔术在东区冠军赛6场被塞尔提克淘汰，11年更是大爆冷门，在第一轮就被赛季只有44胜38败的老鹰淘汰。从事后诸葛的角度来看，在跟塞尔提克那个系列赛 ，Howard 就曾公开批评 Stan Van Gundy 教练，似乎为日后的闹剧埋下了伏笔。
You know, our coach has to recognize, you know, when he has a certain group out there and they're getting the job done, you have to leave those guys on the floor. I would say it's just tough, you know, to win all season long when you do, you play inside out, and you trust one of the people that have gotten you off to a good season, you know. I think I'm capable of scoring in the post, you know. So, you know, I just don't think 10 shots, you know. But I don't want to say it's all about offense, but you know, you got a dominant player, and let him be dominant.
Back with ESPN NBA analyst Jalen Rose. That is called calling out your coach, Jalen. How much of this loss falls on the coach's shoulders?
I have a loaded answer for this one. First and foremost, of course, Stan Van Gundy deserves his lion's share of the blame. He's the head coach. The team was running all high screening rolls for the most part, with 5 people standing around the three-point line, and I grant that. However, he's not a point guard. He's not a shooting guard. He's not a small forward. Those are the guys in the game that make decisions with the basketball. What about one of those guys saying, you know what, Dwight was open last time, I didn't get it to him. Let's try a post-up this time. Or what about Dwight Howard being Superman, being dominant, being the guy that can score in the post, going to the box, putting your right hand up, saying, throw it right here like the great ones do.
20年球季开始，不断有风声传出 Howard 希望被交易，唯一愿意留在魔术的但书是教练 Stan Van Gundy 要被开除。在2022年4月5号，就发生了这个 NBA 历史上最尴尬的访谈。魔术教练 Stan Van Gundy 刚跟媒体说，他知道魔兽跟魔术高层要求他被开除，而没听到访谈前段的魔兽几秒后走进来，跟教练勾肩搭背的。
Stuff like that, I mean, it happens in the NBA, and you know, when it comes out that one of the highest profile guys in the league has, asked for, his coach to be fired. I mean, it's going to be a story. I mean, but disappointing. I mean, you'd rather not have it come out, but, I'd rather it hadn't rained a couple days ago too. I mean, your life goes on, but.
And how do you know it's true?
I was told it was true by people in our management. So, right from the top. I mean, the only thing, I guess, David, that ever liberates me is just, be honest and deal with what's out there. Some people have a hard time with that, I guess, but to me, that's a lot easier to deal with than bull.
What is your sense of when you talk to management? Will they listen to him, or will it be a management?
Oh, I have no idea. They can. Well, obviously, it'll be a management decision. They have to make the decision, but I ain't worried about that. So.
Yeah, Stan, we're not worried about that, right?
That's what I just said. We got to be worried about winning games.
Yeah, what's our main concern right now?
Jameer.
We have to stop Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks tonight.
And the New York Knicks.
That's exactly
That's
right.
the plan, right?
That is the plan. That's what I just said.
Is Dave Ping here today? The guy who started this BS?
I don't see Ping here.
Me neither.
Are you guys done with me?
Yeah. Let's all
You can talk to him now.
Correct.
Whatever happens at the end of the season is not under my control. I am a player for the Magic. I am not the GM. I am not Rich DeVos. I am not Alex Martins. So that's not my job. So you guys should stop with all the every other week is, trying to find something. Because it's nothing. It's nothing. I haven't said anything to anybody about anything.
真是在当初引起了蛮大的风波，有些人觉得 Howard 私下要求教练被开除，却还想在镜头前装出跟教练很好，很虚伪。有些人觉得教练公开讨论这件事很不敬业，把这件事拿到台面上来说，球队基本就是撕破脸准备重建了。有些人则认为 NBA 里巨星要求被交易或开除教练是很正常的事，问题在于高层竟然走漏消息给教练，也才有之后的一连串风波。我们来看看当年的 TNT 四人组是怎么说的。
As awkward an interview situation as can possibly be conceived with the arm around. He walks up after Stan Van Gundy has said, yeah, look, management told me. Dwight asked. And then he comes up not hearing what Van Gundy had said. And then it's like, you need anything else from me? Awkward.
Let me first of all, I don't know. We don't know what's true. It's all conjecture. I don't think Coach Van Gundy should have broke that out right now. And I don't think Dwight Howard should ask to have his coach fired. But I have a serious problem with somebody in management. If they had a private conversation with Dwight Howard, it should have stayed private. They should not have shared it with Coach Van Gundy. I like Coach Van Gundy. I don't think that was the appropriate time to drop that bombshell, especially on the game day. Like I say, Dwight Howard should not try to get his coach fired. But whoever the scumbag is, if it's true, who had a private conversation with Dwight Howard to leak that to Coach Van Gundy, that's just a punk-ass move, in my opinion.
Okay, that's quite the first crack at it. Okay, Kenny, go ahead.
I get what you're saying, but
which part?
Why, but about the private conversation. But it was always private until Van Gundy says it to the media.
No, but
so he didn't have to say it.
The guy had a private conversation
Can I get my? Okay, I'm going to get this. I'll get my crack. I'm getting to where I'm going, but it's going to take me a second. So now, if he doesn't have to address it at all, why does he have to address it? That's Otis Smith's job to address that. Is this coach being fired? He's the only one who fires and hires is the general manager. That's Otis Smith's job. Listen, I coach this team. Players are not going to like me. They're going to want me to be here, not going to be, depending on how the ball bounces sometimes. That's what coaching's all about. Next question. To me, that's what goes on. But I don't understand, Shaq, the relevance of how him bringing it out now either. I don't know what is he accomplishing by saying it to the media. I don't understand what's being accomplished.
First of all, private conversations should never be brought public. I think it was a Bush League move by Stan Van Gundy, really, personally. First of all, he's lost his team forever now. That right there can never be repaired. You threw your main guy under the bus. Even if you guys did have a terrible relationship, now it's even worse. It cannot be repaired. And even if they did have that conversation, I think it was the right conversation to have. Let me tell you why. Players respect guys with proven resumes. You know, Stan's been there a while. He's a good coach, but as you know, in this league, good is not good enough. It's all about winning championships. And I think at sometimes they don't respect his decision-making.
What's more of a Bush League move? Going to management and saying, you need to fire this coach?
It's been done before.
Or a coach responding to a question about, hey, we're hearing this, what do you feel about it?
It's been done before. If I'm working in a corporation and I'm one of the leaders and I'm talking to the head president guy and you guys trusting me, it's been done before behind closed doors. Like, hey,
and we don't know how it was said because we don't know if Otis Smith said, "Hey, if this could have keep me here."
First of all,
trust me, it's
has been done before, but it is Bush League for them to share that with Stan Van Gundy.
So what they should have done?
They don't have to share that with him.
They don't have to.
They don't have to share that.
Well, I put it like this.
Kenny, let me ask you
I'm not put it like this. If I'm the general manager, somebody comes to me and I ask them a question and say, listen, I'm going to say, Shaq, do you want him here? Do you really want him in? And you go, nah, not really. And then I'm going to go, you know what, Coach? The reason why you're not going to be here is because our big guy don't want you here. I'm going to let that, and we're going to make that known. It's not going to be any faking and fluff going on. We're going to let it be known.
If Ernie or myself went to David Levy and said, we want Kenny fired,
then David Levy should come talk to me and say y'all said that.
Exactly. No, see, I don't believe
he
that.
should say that. And then I'm going to come have a conversation with you.
Because we can't work together.
No, but I'm going to have a conversation with you.
这件事最后的结尾是可想而知的3败俱伤，魔术内部在无比尴尬的状态下，在第一轮5场败给六马，结束了当个赛季。GM Otis Smith 跟教练 Stan Van Gundy 在球季结束后都离职，魔兽则被交易到湖人，形象也因为这整出闹剧而开始黑化。之后几年更是开始了自己的篮球浪人生涯。那我自己认为这件事3方都有责任，事件的始作俑者当然是要求教练被开除的魔兽。但说真的，就如侠客所说的，球员要求教练被开除本身根本就不是什么新鲜事。这件事奇怪的地方在魔术高层之后的反应，不论是 Stan Van Gundy 从旁得知消息后去询问高层，或是更离奇的，高层主动透露消息给 Stan Van Gundy， 再让 Stan Van Gundy 得知魔兽要求他被开除后，都注定两人的关系回不去了。接下来，魔兽将会提到跟他在媒体上有多次唇枪舌战的侠客，还有跟 Kobe 跟 LeBron 两人当队友的差别。
I really want to talk to you about the relationship between you and Shaq.
Well, I mean, I never had an issue with Shaq. To be honest, I really didn't know a lot about Shaq as a young kid. My favorite player was Kevin Garnett, Magic Johnson, and Wilt Chamberlain. I watched the Magic play. I didn't even realize Shaq was on that team until he played the Sixers in the finals. And I saw him demolish Mutombo.
This is early in the series. The Dikembe Mutombo taking a shot in the face by Shaquille. Look at him lift him up off the floor. He's at a 45-degree angle here now as he turns and powers through him on his way to the basket. Once again, this was the other night. Powers through that left arm, catches him right in the jaw, and then goes up with a powerful
But I was in 11th grade, and I just remember Shaq beating up everybody. And after that, I was like, oh, man. My Superman name, that came from Soulja Boy. I used to like to do the dance. And so I think the confusion is he thought that I was trying to take his nickname and be like him and stuff like that.
Where do you feel like you guys are right now?
I don't know. I've never really had a conversation with Shaq.
You should.
You're right.
You should have a conversation. I vote have a conversation. Okay? Imano.
A conversation.
Like, yeah, like
with cameras or without cameras?
I mean, that's up to y'all, but content is content. That's great content. Just think about it. Good. Yeah, just let snakes!
Whoa,
boy,
snake.
Darryl, I almost whooped your
Why did you scare me like that?
I almost whooped your goddamn All right. You played with Kobe Bryant, and then you end up playing with LeBron James. What did you see between the world of Bron and Kobe as a teammate?
It's totally different as far as their personalities. Kobe's more straightforward. You know, he's always locked in. He's quiet. And, you know, LeBron, he has his music blasting. You know, he's, walking around lifting before the game. You know, you just see two different types of players. But, when it comes to the work, no, they're not strangers to the work. And that's what has set them apart.
以上就是今天的访谈内容。那关于侠客跟魔兽的牛肉，我是觉得魔兽已经算是很收敛了，他几乎从来不挑出他跟侠客之间的纷争。但不知道为什么，侠客总是3不5时就要酸一下 Howard。其实以侠客的地位来说，不用对这些小事发表太多的看法，这样我是觉得好像会显得不够大气啊。以上就是今天的访谈内容。如果你喜欢这部影片，可以按下订阅钮。感谢各位的收看，我们下次见，拜拜。